Yo, what's up guys, Jack here, and today we're taking a look at the brand spanking new Underground DLC for The Division. I'm out at E3 right now in Los Angeles, and earlier today I jumped on this and captured everything, and that gameplay is what you're seeing now. And this is running on Xbox One, just for clarification. Now, a couple of you noticed in my previous video, the Ghost Recon video, that I sounded a bit different. It's probably because I'm in a hotel room using a different microphone than what I normally would use. And also, I haven't really had much sleep whilst I've been out here, so I probably just sound a bit groggy, but the show must go on. So then, the Division DLC. What's going on? More Division content on the channel here. I actually haven't played this game since the first Incursion was released. Like, I did that and I was sadly a bit underwhelmed by it. I got to like level 57 in the Dark Zone and my gear score was around 205 from what I remember. Since then there's been another Incursion that was released for free, and some big changes to the way that the game handles cheaters, because on PC the Dark Zone is just absolutely full of them. But apparently recently anti-cheat measures have been introduced and cleaned that up a bit, which is good to hear, and they've introduced a first offence policy, so now if you get caught cheating you should be banned, which is really how it should have been since the start of the game. But I digress. So then, what do we get with the first major DLC for the game? Well, to summarise, the main focus point appears to be what you're looking at now, and this is a random dungeon generator, and we'll get onto that in a second. We've got new incursions, more changes to the Dark Zone, lots of high value target NPCs that drop nice loot, and some other various bits and bobs like extra challenge modes. So lots of new content in here if you're still playing the game regularly. So this random dungeon generator then, it's pretty straightforward, but it does mean that there's going to be a lot of replayability here. So it works like this: you start a mission at a staging area which is underneath the base of operations, which you'll know what that is if you played the game, and then from there you can party up, set the difficulty, and also add stuff like modifiers which are new. So this could be stuff like giving the enemies a chance to fire special ammunition at you, like incendiary for example, so they could set you on fire, or you only regenerate the first tick of health, or if you reload half a magazine then the rest of the bullets will disappear. So it's a system that's been implemented into the game and designed in such a way that adds more challenge, and because of that the rewards are going to be greater. The more challenge, the more XP, and I think you get better chance of scoring yourself some high-end loot the more of these modifiers and the higher difficulty that you use. And then once you're done with that, you start the mission and enter the dungeon. Now this is the cool part. Every time you do this, the layout of each room in the mission will be different, and it's going to have different enemies and different objectives. So it could be something like protecting an NPC, or maybe like a time limit to destroy a cache of weapons. There could be traps scattered around everywhere and you've got to go defuse them. They've also introduced signal disruptors that prevent you from using any of your abilities until you go and find them and destroy them. So imagine playing some of these new randomly generated levels on heroic or challenging mode, plus you've got all the modifiers turned on. Now that's going to be very hard to beat, especially considering that you're not going to know the layout of the map or what enemies you'll face. I really like that, and it's pretty cool that they've actually implemented a system like this in a game like The Division. I didn't expect to see something like this there anyways. So on the flip side, a couple of negatives from my perspective. Just on first impressions, it still seems that when you ramp up the difficulty, the enemies only do more damage and only have more health. Like, no changes to tactics as far as I can see, just more bullet sponges. And part of me would have preferred that the team designed actual raids with interesting mechanics to them, where major team play is required, rather than just sit behind cover, dodge when the grenades come, and shoot at another guy wearing armor until his health bar disappears. Like, I really want to see The Division take more chances and more liberties with the DLC and the game design. They've created a beautiful world here, and I've addressed this in a video before. I just feel like some of the missions lack that grandiose, the epic moments, and the new DLC, from what I've played so far, doesn't really add any of that. You've got this beautiful mid-crisis recreation of New York, probably the best ever in a video game. And once you've played through the campaign missions, you never really see it again unless you're just replaying missions. They could make the world a bit crazier, let's say. Tanks roaming the streets in the PvE areas, helicopter battles, skydiving. None of that sort of stuff is in the game yet, and I think that's a shame. And I know this is a serious game, it's a Tom Clancy game, but for the sake of more interesting gameplay, I think a lot more could be done here. I want Massive to start exploring their Just Cause or their Michael Bay side and just see how it turns out. More exciting missions and incursions would definitely bring a lot of the player base back, and also those long sought after PvP game modes in the Dark Zone, big missed opportunities there, so maybe in the next DLC we'll see stuff like that happening. One of the new incursions though, called Dragon's Nest, is supposed to be a lot bigger than the previous ones, and I haven't played that yet, so we'll just have to wait and see when this gets released on June 28th. And that's all really I've got for you now, guys. Just some basic first impressions here. Do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the footage. Like, are you still playing this game? Are you excited for the new DLC or not? Let's hear it. As always, thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down, and I'll see you in the next one.